Before I begin my true life vignette, may I see a show of hands of those of you who used to watch that ridiculous sitcom? I have to put my glasses on to look at you, called Gilligan's Island, that was popular in the 70s and 80s. Oh, wonderful. If you're not familiar with it, it's a ridiculous sitcom. One of the favorite characters on the show was Mrs. Howell, the overindulged Mrs. Howell. Now, I have never really been a Mrs. Howell in real life, but for about 5 to 10 minutes, I certainly felt like Mrs. Howell, or let's say I pretended to be a Mrs. Howell. Many, many years ago, my brother invited my husband and I to visit him in California. He had some frequent flyer miles, extra points, and we weren't going to turn that down. We flew out there. At the time, we just had one child. My oldest son was about 11 months old. On a given Saturday, he said, why don't we drive down the coast and visit some of these little cities? For example, Carmel. Carmel is a trendy little city with wonderful antique shops, art stores. He said, Ann, you would just love it. Why don't you guys go there? We decided to visit a trendy little artsy place in Carmel. I remember feeling really underdressed. We just had our, t-shirts and jeans on, certainly not designer jeans by any means. I felt a little out of place, but we were the only patrons in the joint. We walked in, there was a owner or a curator of this place. He had spectacles on. He looked like he could have been on Wall Street. He was just greeting us as we walked through the door, kind of looking out the window. We made our way back around the store. I saw some vases, some blown glass. I knew that I wouldn't be able to afford anything, but I thought, maybe I'll find some little trinket I can take home. But things were a little bit pricey, $200, $500. As we made our way back to this very small shop, it was probably no more than 700 square feet. The prices kept getting higher and higher. We finally wove our way around to this back little corner, which was loaded with paintings, literally all over the walls. The prices were getting higher and higher, thousands upon thousands of dollars. I remember thinking, gee, maybe they sell some postcards here, or maybe I could buy some sort of memento. I walked up to the owner of this place, this very elegant man. I said, by any chance, are you selling any postcards today? Or he said, no. I said, how about some costume jewelry or, refrigerator magnets? He said, I'm sorry, we don't have any of those here. And I said, okay. I went back, and I kid you not, I looked straight ahead. It was just sensory overload, but straight in front of me, amidst all these other expensive paintings, some of them from local artists, there was an actual Rembrandt, probably not as well known, a Rembrandt painting staring at me in the face. Notice how I treated it as if it was some sort of vicious animal. It was an asking price of $175,000. I looked around and I recognized other actual romantic artist paintings that were there. $175,000, $200,000. I remember saying to my husband, this is unbelievable. I am standing a few feet away from a Rembrandt. As a way of probably dealing with the sticker shock, I kind of just went into a Mrs. Howell mode to deal with the shock. And I remember saying to him, because no one else was there, I knew no one was paying attention to us. I said, oh, darling, it's a Rembrandt. Won't you buy one for me, dear? Please, just one, dear. Of course, he wasn't going along with anything. And I said, oh, please, for our entryway, wouldn't it look lovely, dear? And then under my breath, I was saying, I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. Then I looked to the left, and there was an actual Monet. Now, this was probably $250,000, at which point I exclaimed, oh, it's a Monet. If you can't buy me a Rembrandt, dear, please buy me a Monet, please, for our foyer. Oh, dear, please, just for me. In the meantime, the owner of this establishment, who probably was an art dealer, slowly made his way around the periphery of the room. He still had his hands behind his back with a vacant look on his face. He was slowly kind of moving towards us. I knew he would have no interest. We were dressed like little hobos. Suddenly, as I'm joking and saying, oh, please buy me a couple of masterpieces, darling, he was like 2 feet away from me, and he said, oh, so are we looking to add to our collection today? Can I interest you in a masterpiece? And I thought, oh my gosh, this man took me seriously. How could this be? And I said, oh, That's okay. No, I think I'm just looking today. Thank you. And then I thought I better tone it down. But he just kept hovering. He said, are you sure I can't interest you in something perhaps for your home? And I said, no, that's all right. That's all right. And he said, so tell me, in your travels to Europe, have you ever been to Paris or Florence or Rome? I remember thinking at that moment, now I've been taught my whole life long, it is wrong to lie. It is wrong to lie. But in this case, I said, yes, I've been to Florence, because at the time we lived in Cincinnati and my husband worked in the very small town of Florence, Kentucky. Yes, I've been to Florence. He said, oh, well, then, whenever you're there at one of the galleries, it's always so pertinent to pick up something to add to your collection. He kept pestering me and saying, are you sure there's something I can't show you today? And I felt like saying, yes, please show me the exit sign. I really don't belong here. At any rate, he said, well then, the next time that you're in Europe or Florence, please make sure you choose something to add to your collection. And I said, will do. Thank you, sir.